All right, let's just get going live with an Arena Cube draft. Gonna do best of one today. I think I like best of one for, I like best of three for almost all Magic, but I like best of one for Cube because you get to play a wide variety of decks and see a wide variety of cards. And that's what Arena Cube is all about, really. It's about playing the most powerful cards in Magic and hoping that you can play better combinations than your opponents. So let's start it up. Also, I like that it only costs gold, the Arena Cube, as opposed to the, or sorry, you can do it for fairly cheap gold compared to a regular draft. Makes it a little bit easier to roll these over and over again. So in general, the strategy for Cube is that you want to take the most powerful cards, regardless of color almost, and try to build, I guess, your mana base around the most powerful combinations of them and try and see what's coming around really late, because every single card in this cube, or almost every single card with exception of like a few, are not, they're all very powerful. So it's not really about, whether you're going to get enough playables or if you're going to get enough things to do. It's about having synergies and making sure that you can take advantage of those synergies and that they're better than your opponents. So going to here like this, I know this is a very new card, Professor Onyx or Liliana, but it is a very powerful card, and I think it's what we're going to take here. This is the most powerful card in the pack, I think, and it has quite a few synergies that you can build around it with the Magecraft triggers and that. There's also I do like Golos. I think Golos is quite a good card to pick early. It'll go in a lot of decks, and if you get the 5-color payoffs, it's quite good. And then also, I want to talk about Find and Finality and Languish. You can see there's a lot of sweepers in this format, and so we're going to have to watch that if we draft a creature-heavy deck. So we'll pick Liliana here and see what our opponents thought was not worth it. All right, so second pack, we have a lot of lands in this pack. A lot of lands that are pretty good, either dual lands or Castle Vantress. We also have Once Upon a Time, Thoughtseize. What else we got here? Unburial Rites is really good. I think personal preference here. I'm gonna pick Unburial Rites is pretty good in that you can build around Unburial Rites pretty easily. If you mill it into your graveyard, which is kind of what you're trying to do already with a Reanimator deck, you can flash it back to target a creature and get it. I don't know if that's the most powerful card here. Let's select it for a second here. I also think that Thoughtseize is really solid in this format. Your opponent has so many powerful cards that Thoughtseize, and they often have a lot of card draw, so getting to play this later in the game is good. But I think, yeah, maybe Unburial Rites. Yeah, let's pick Unburial Rites. I think this is good on overall power, and we're going to see what else we get. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got past a bunch of good cards, but I want to focus on the two mythics here. Starnheim Unleashed, just as good as it was in Kaldheim. It's a bonkers card where you create multiple angels for the low cost of 5 mana. You can create 2 angels, and yeah, it's quite good. Also, Chandra though, Chandra is probably even better in that she can sweep the board. She can deal with a single target if you want, and she gives inevitability with the emblem. So I think we're gonna pick Chandra here, and the big Chandra, not the little Chandra. She's good too, but we're gonna pick big Chandra, and maybe we'll play black red, maybe not. We'll see. All right. Cruel Reality, not the best card in this format. I think you have to. Oh, hey Sharon. Yes, we. I did not take the Angel Maker. I took the Chandra there. Yeah, we're doing some cube draft here. I've heard that black is the weakest color in this cube, but we started off with 2 good black cards, so we're going for it here. Yeah, what do I want to pick here? I think that yeah, there's quite a few good cards in this pack, but they're all mediocre. The best Strixhaven ever. Yeah, well, that would have been the best start to a Strixhaven one ever, for sure. We're gonna let's see here. Oh, I'm running out of time to pick. I'm gonna pick the acquisitions expert here and just fill out our black curve. This is probably not a very good pick there, but we're just feeling this out. All right. Scholar of the Lost Trove is very powerful. This is actually also a pretty good card to reanimate from our graveyard if we want to go that route with Unburial Rites. We also got some very solid green creatures in Thragtusk and Voracious Hydra. And God Eternal Bontu is pretty bonkers as well in the black-red sacrifice deck. So we could be in the black and red sacrifice deck here. It looks like it's not extremely open right now. I think we also have a Tri-land here. I think I'm actually going to pick Voracious Hydra. I like being able to fight something when it comes into play. Actually, no. God Eternal Bontu is probably more powerful. We're going to pick based on power. God Eternal Bontu and see what happens. All right. So now we're getting into some more niche cards and filler cards that are coming around. We have cards like this Traxos, which is only really good in the artifact deck or in a historic type deck, but I don't think that's really playable in this format, even though we have a few ways to trigger it ourselves. We could hedge on a removal spell here. We could play a land here, and I think that's what we're going to do. Nothing in this pack is powerful enough that we're going to pick it very highly. So we're going to pick a land and help ourselves with our colors. Not that we have to be in these 2 colors, but if we play multiple colors, this is the way to go. Okay, so we have a few things in here. Plain White Celebration is very powerful. It's one of the more expensive cards in the sets. I still don't think it's what you want to be ramping into, honestly, although it is a decent target. As you can see, we kind of there's not a ton of playables here, but there is a lot of lands. I think I'm going to pick a land like Isolated Chapel. That helps us with our Unburial Rites if we want to play the flashback side of it. I don't think it's worth it taking a sacrifice effect like Chainer's Edict or Kiora or something. So we're going to pick Isolated Chapel and hope we get something a little better here. All right. So it does look like green is somewhat open for us with the Dragon's Guard Elite being here this late. This is still a really good card, even in Cube Draft. Adding all the counters with Magecraft is pretty easy. And we have a Captivating Crew. Captivating Crew is okay. I don't really like it in the sacrifice deck because you often, your sacrifice effects they cost mana. And this costs mana, so you're spending 5-6 mana to make things work. Maybe it is better though, so we're gonna pick it. We're gonna pick it and stay in the black-red deck. All right, so Languish is a good card. I don't think it really fits in our deck unless we're going to be more of a control deck. It is a very powerful card though, especially against the aggro decks in this format. We also have some token creation. We have a Conclave Mentor, which is really solid. And we have Find and Finality, which I really like. This is some good card advantage later in the game, or it's a board sweeper. I think this is what we're going to pick. This is pretty easy to splash or to just play as the Find side for double black. So I think I'm happy to pick that here. Okay, so this pack we kind of whiff a little bit. I don't think we want to take any of the lands or the off-color stuff. We're just going to take a Demon Bolt here. Fill out our curve a little bit. Oh, wow. So Chandra coming back here is pretty interesting. Chandra is really good in the black and red sacrifice deck because you get to make multiple tokens with her every turn that you can use to sacrifice. And she also flashes back some of your cheap sacrifice cards like Village Rights if you want, for example. So we're going to pick her. Nothing wrong with the Planeswalker this late. Okay, if we're going to be black and red, sacrifice, we're going to pick Active Treason here. I think having a way to steal a creature is pretty good. I know we have Captivating Crew already, and it only costs 1 more to gain control, but we're going to pick Active Treason. Okay, we're going to pick Voracious Hydra. Probably the best card. Don't think we're going to play it. We'll actually put it in the sideboard for now. And we'll pick Compulsive Research. And look at that. We get a land to help our splash of Find, if we want. Find and Finality. That's pretty good. Yeah, Baby Chandra. So now we have Adult Chandra and Acolyte Chandra, which is good stuff. And we get some good black and red sacrifice cards right off the bat here with Priest of the Forgotten Gods, or Priest of Forgotten Gods, and Mayhem Devil. I think the Priest is more important to this deck than the Mayhem Devil. And yeah, oh, Sharon, yes, the Squirrel. The Squirrel deserves some mention. The Squirrel is good, even in this format of bonkers cards. The Squirrel is quite good. Getting to draw cards is very solid. I still think we want to go with the black-red sacrifice theme until something throws us off of that. But I do really like the Squirrel. I was going to say that there's not anything like super duper powerful to pull us away from the black-red deck yet, so let's pick the Priest of the Forgotten Gods and see if we can make this into a sacrifice deck. Okay, so pack 2 coming this way. Looks like we have some pretty good white cards, some pretty good, a really good blue card with Sublime Epiphany. Realm Cloak Giant is underrated in my opinion. I think this is very good in Cube Draft in that a control deck can play it and they get all in one. They get a board sweeper and they get a win condition. And it's actually like this format is kind of like Constructed, but it's not as powerful as Constructed. So this is actually still relevant, unlike it would be in Constructed. Liliana is very powerful. I think this is possibly our pick here. It's either that or Call of the Death Dweller, but I like to default to, well, we have a lot of Planeswalkers already. I'm still going to default to her. We might not play all of our Planeswalkers, but because we need creatures and sacrifice effects, but I think she's good enough to pick. Okay, so a little bit of a weaker pack. It does look like white is kind of open this direction with Elspeth still being here. The rest of the pack is mostly kind of filler and support cards. There's a Shock and a Vishino Pyromancer. I think we still want a removal spell or two. What do we pick here? Yeah, Sharon, I didn't pick Shadow Spear because I still think Liliana is better in general, but Shadow Spear is very powerful for sure. I think we need some creatures. We only have 4 creatures, and the sacrifice deck does need some creatures. So I'm tempted to pick this Pyromancer. I guess it does have some reach on it. I think let's pick... It's either that or the Hagra Mauling. Let's pick the Hagra Mauling for a removal spell. It's just better to have a removal spell at this point, I think. Okay, so we have a pretty slim pickings for black and red here. Not to say that we didn't get any cards. We also have a couple artifacts we could put in this deck regardless, like Aether Spear Harvester. But I think we're pretty low on creatures already. I don't know if we want this vehicle that requires creatures to crew. The Bestiary is good if you're in green, but we are not. The Embrose side of this card is decent, but not amazing. Maybe we take Ayara because she does some sacrifice stuff. I think we're gonna take Ayara here, even though we have a difficult mana base at that point. But I think that's still better for our deck. Okay, so here we have some powerful cards. We're back in powerful card territory with Primal Might, and I do really like Lithoform Engine. I think it's pretty good. it's a pretty powerful card that goes in a lot of decks. Getting to copy any permanent spell or instant or sorcery is really good. And in this, there's a lot more abilities that you can trigger. I think it's pretty good in the ramp deck in this format. But here we're gonna take something that gives us some creatures. It's I think it's gonna be the Callous Blood Mage. There's also a Grim Initiate, which is good in the sacrifice deck. And I don't mind Insult to Injury in general, but I think we're gonna pick this guy for the Callous Blood Mage for a double creature card. Okay, so yeah, a couple picks to talk about here. Obosh is pretty solid, not as a companion really, but as just a way to make half of your creatures deal twice as much damage, which is good. And he's a pretty good blocker on his own. Pretty good sized creature. We also have Annex here. Annex is pretty good in the sacrifice deck because it gives you lots of bodies, but we don't have a ton of Devotion to Red, so the chances of it hitting 4 are pretty low. So we're going to pick Bone Crusher Giant. It's very solid in cube. It's a constructed staple as well. I think this is probably our best pick here. All right, now in this pack, I want to note that the Castle Locthwain is pretty important. I think having a way to draw cards with your lands is really important in this. But once again, I still think we need some creatures to fill out our curve. We only have 2 drops, and this deck does want some early drops. So we're going to pick the Dusk Legion Zealot. This is good at any point in the game, and it gives us a body to sacrifice to Priest of Forgotten Gods or God Eternal Bontu. Similarly here, Bastion of Remembrance is another card we want to pick here. I think this card it helps us drain out our opponent with the second effect, and the first effect gives us a creature here, and we hope we get Mayhem Devil back. Oh no, we didn't get Mayhem Devil back out of this pack. That's a little disappointing because it means that somebody is probably in the black and red deck. The 2 black and red cards in this pack are not amazing. I'm going to pick the Toski here. We may actually find a spot where we want to splash the Legendary Squirrel. And we do have another reason to splash green with Finality. So I'm kind of not hedging, but let's pick that there in case our deck turns out a little differently than we thought. Speaking of the Shadow Spear Sharon, it came all the way around to us. I still don't actually think we're going to pick it here. Our deck, it doesn't really need that kind of a card, and I really want this mana fixing instead. So we're going to pick it ahead of the Shadow Spear. All right, Shock is fairly efficient. It's not a bad card to pick. Fight with Fire is also it's okay removal spell. I'm going to pick Godless Shrine. I still think that we are playing black almost for sure, and we want to have ways to splash some of the more powerful cards that might come around in the next pack. So if we get some really good white cards, we can actually play them. In this pack, we don't really have a whole lot. I'm going to pick the Life Crafters, like it's suggesting. I'll go on the sideboard. Ooh, and we got back 3 red cards here. That's really good for us. Insult to Injury is pretty solid, but I still think I want another creature. Yeah, we're only at 9 creatures right now. I want another creature that's good with the sacrifice effects. Wow, and Annex is back, and a land that we might want. Oh my god, let's take Annex. Jeez. Tough decisions late in the draft here. Okay, so on to pack 3. This is when we want to round out our deck, think about what we need in our deck, and work to make this into a usable pile of cards. We still want to pick black and red sacrifice cards very highly, I think, because our deck is still fairly focused on it with the Priest, the God Eternal, and the Bastion of Remembrance. We didn't get that Mayhem Devil back, and so it won't be in any of these packs, sadly. But because there's only 1 in the queue, but we did get a Woe Strider, and Woe Strider is a probably our best sacrifice effect that we're going to have outside of the priest. This is just, it costs no mana. You can do it at any time. I think that's what we're going to pick. Yeah, sure. And Pelucranos Unchained is another good one for sure. And that one probably wins on sheer power level, but it's not necessarily a. I don't know that we want to splash it in this deck. This deck doesn't really. It could want that card, but I think we want the Woe Strider more. Ideally, this deck is going to be just black and red, and splashing for the backside of Find Infinality and maybe Unburial Rites. I don't think we'll play that, but maybe. Okay, so we have a little bit more of a green and black pack here. There's some good red and black cards. Rampaging Ferocidon is really solid. I think I'm going to pick this here. We don't have a ton of ways to gain life, and this pressures our opponent pretty good. Our opponents, so I'm gonna pick this. And yeah, so many Chandras. We could have had a third Chandra there, which is kind of crazy. Okay, pick 3. So we have a few options on pick 3. Again, we have Young Pyromancer, which gives us creatures that we can sacrifice. We have Shatterskull Smashing, which can be a 2-for-1 or a land. And we also have a Blood Crypt, which could help our mana. I actually think here we're going to pick just a Blood Crypt. I know this seems really early to pick a land like this, but having a good mana base in Cube is different. The difference between winning and losing, and I think we want to have like a really good mana base especially if we're splashing something. Oh, nice, and we get one of the better black and red sacrifice cards here anyway with Judith. Judith is almost like a Mayhem Devil, but it's maybe not quite as good, but it's a really good card, and I think we will pick it here over the Erebos' Intervention. And we're going to mark that we have a Weaponize the Monsters that might come back to us. Yeah, Sharon, Judith is a good one. So we're going to pick Judith here and try. We really need to fill out this 1 and 2 slot here, preferably with creatures. So that's what we're going to work towards. I think here we're probably going to. So there is a Massacre Worm is quite good. Massacre Worm is a very solid card, but I think our top end is already kind of as high as we'd want it. I'm going to pick a low drop creature here that we can sacrifice and pressure our opponent with here. Hopefully we don't have to play like this Grim Initiate card. I know we have some sacrifice effects, but I still don't think this is amazing. So hope to fill out this lower part of our curve. All right. Interesting pack here. I want to talk. The Crystalline Giant is still very solid in Cube. Even the chance that this thing gets hexproof on that first turn or flying on that first turn is enough to play it. There's also a Perilous Mirror, which is really good for sacrificing. I think we're going to pick Perilous Mirror over Light Up the Stage, which I didn't get to talk about, but I really want to fill out these spots in our curve right now. So similarly, I'm going to pick, I think, the Direfleet Daredevil. Gives us another 2-drop. It can be aggressive as a 2/1 first striker early, and later in the game we get to cast very powerful instants and sorceries from the opponent's graveyard. I think it's better than the Foulmire Knight, or than trying to go with the Triome to splash another green source. Oh, nice. And we get a Blood Artist here, too. So Blood Artist, Judith, and Bastion of Remembrance. These are all 3 really good cards that will help us to drain our opponent out. There is a Village Rites here, which I'm pretty upset that we won't get back. We won't see it again. And but I think we want to go with this to try and drain our opponents out. And we're going to really focus on that theme here, I think, with cards that we can chip in a couple damage and then sacrifice later to kill our opponent. Here, there's not really anything amazingly playable. This is not really in our wheelhouse with the power, but we're going to pick Ox of Agonas, which could refill our hand later in the game. All right, not amazing cards. I don't think we can really cast this Gifted Aetherborn very consistently on turn 2, and in fact, I don't think we're gonna play this Ayara, but we're gonna pick Rimrock Knight here. Oh, nice. We got Shatter Skull Smashing back, so that's a good removal spell. That's also a land. Here, there's nothing we really care about, so, and we don't get any of these cards, so we're just gonna pick Godfrow's Gift. Um, Inquisition. I wonder if that would make our deck. I think this will make our deck before the third green source, so we're gonna pick Inquisition here. Wow, I'm surprised this Crystalline Giant came around. I will still pick the God of Death. I don't think we'll play it. And the Foulmire Knight came back to us. Wow. Alright, so Sharon, I'm very sorry, but I don't think that this squirrel is going to make the cut, sadly. And our white lands aren't going to make the cut. And we are going to think about if we want to splash the backside of Find and Finality or not. It might actually not make the cut in our deck. Yeah, I don't think we do this. I guess maybe the Find side of it to return 2 creatures is good enough. Okay, let's look at the rest of our cards here first. So let's look at our creature count. We have 19 creatures, which is more than enough for this deck. We are going to. Sorry, what was that? Oh, the squirrel is so hard to deal with. Yeah, it is. I don't think this deck is going to be in a position to take advantage of it as often as we'd like, and it's also, if we're splashing it, it's not as good because you don't get to play it on turn 4. But I see your point, Shane. I still think we want to focus on the black-red sacrifice theme that we got going on here, and see if we can drain our opponents out with some of these Bastion of Remembrance type cards. All right, so it looks like in this deck we're going to be relying on just a very few cards for some card advantage. We may not even want to play some of these the Planeswalkers at the top, honestly. Let's think here. Rimrock Knight is not amazing in our deck. Foulmire Knight is also not very amazing in our deck. So let's just take those out for a second. I know they are adventure cards. Maybe they are adventure cards, so we keep it in. Let's see here. This is the problem with Cube Draft. You have so many good cards that it's very difficult to cut something and feel good about it. Part of me thinks, so first of all, I think we can play 1 less land because we do have 2 spell lands in Hagra Mauling and the Shatter Skull Smashing. I also, I'm tempted to just cut these expensive cards here because our deck, seems to want to be a little more low to the ground and wants to, kill our opponent with creatures and with the pinging effects rather than with a big planeswalker. So we'll think about that here. And if we cut these 2, we can maybe even play 1 less land in our deck again and go down to maybe 15 lands plus the Hagra Mauling and the Shatter Skull Smashing. Let's see what that looks like here. That'd be down to 42 cards at that point. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it. Let's see here. Oh, it's Sharon, do you like these two mythic planeswalkers? Do you want to play both of them? Do you want to play only one of them? Both very good. I don't know that they fit the theme of our deck, though. I think probably Professor Onyx might be a better fit for our deck. I know it's not a strict removal spell, but it does give us some card advantage, which I think we might be lacking. I'm going to cut this Inquisition. Oh, you're a rare drafter. I see. Or are you a mythic rare drafter? Is that what's going to really bring you to Chandra as well? I guess we could cut the Ox here. Do something like this. Maybe cut. Wait, this is only still 15 lands. Let me add some lands back in before I forget about them. Because I do think if we play this, we'd want 17. Oh, no, 16, I guess. 16 is good. So we still need 2 cuts. Yeah, sometimes rare drafting does suck. Oh, Liliana. This Liliana doesn't really fit our deck very well. I think we're going to take her out. Yeah, and yeah, you know, some of these small creatures are not the best. They do put pressure on our opponent. Let's just take a look here. Grim Initiate gives us 2 bodies, but I don't think we're hurting for bodies. So I think we're going to take out Grim Initiate, and we're going to play everything else here, I think. Let's just take one more look through. Annex is also not amazing in this deck. We have, what do we have for permanents? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 permanents that are solid. 7 permanents that are solid. I don't know that he's going to be a 4-power creature too often, although it is all of our non-token creatures. Okay, we're going to keep Annex in as a way to get a bunch of creatures, and let's count our mana up. And I think we're just going to try this. We'll try this formation off the start, and then we might switch to something without Professor Onyx if it doesn't go very well. So let's look at our mana for a second. Looks like we're slightly more towards black. But not enough that it would matter. We do have a few doubles on the red side of things, and on the black side of things. I think we're going to leave it even for the mana. And I'm just going to check that we can complete our quest today, which we can't, and it sucks to get rid of a 750 quest, but we'll do it. Oh, and we still can't do it. That's pretty brutal. All right, no worries. Black-red sacrifice, here we go. Sharon, how does it feel to be my only viewer tonight? It's almost like we have a nice one-on-one chat, but I'm going to talk as if somebody else will watch this later, so. All right, this is a pretty good hand for us. We have a 2-drop. We have a 2-drop removal spell. We have Woe Strider, and then we get to Active Treason, their best creature, and probably hit them with it and sacrifice it, which I like. Oh no, we better not be playing a mirror match. Ooh, we even got a 1-drop. Look at this. We're going to be very aggressive here against our opponent. If you want to, Sharon, I am happy to have some flirting. We're going to just attack straight into this Jeskai Elder, I think. See if they bite and block. They don't. And then I think instead of playing the Perilous Mirror, which could block the Elder, but I think we're gonna just crush the Elder. Well, it just draws and discards. No, let's play the Perilous Mirror. Yeah, we could talk about errands and stuff if you want, but I was hoping that we could just talk Magic, you know? you can tell me what our opponent is going to do with these crazy cards, like Agar. Okay, so our opponent attacking with the Jeskai Elder, very willing to trade it for the Perilous Mirror. I think that's fine. It's too bad we can't kill Agar here with the Perilous Mirror, but yeah, we're going to block. We're going to kill the Jeskai Elder. And move to turn 3. So we have a few options here. We could play Chandra, but she's just going to get hit by the Agar. We can't really attack well into Agar because he's going to draw a card, even if we Bone Crusher Gianted afterwards. So I think here our plan, again, is just to play Woe Strider. And we're going to pass the turn and hope that we can steal Agar or somebody else that they play and then sacrifice it to Woe Strider. Ooh, Sprite Dragon. Do really like Sprite Dragon. This is a very solid card. If our opponent has any kind of... Oh, there it is. Damn. Okay. So they do have a spell to kill our Woe Strider. Do we sacrifice our goat here? Yeah, I think we want to scry at least once. And... Ooh, do we want this land? Let's see here. What are we trying to do? We're going to try and Bone Crusher Giant the Sprite Dragon. That doesn't solve our Agar problem, but it at least kills the Sprite Dragon. I think maybe we do not want this land. Well, yeah, let's play our Hagra Mauling as the land. And let's let this happen. They're going to draw a card, which is pretty brutal. And probably attack us for 5 here, I assume. And we're not going to block. Okay. Oh, man. Well, now I wish I had that land, actually, because we could get Lightning Strike back with Direfleet Daredevil. That's too bad. Okay, we're going to go with our plan still to Bone Crusher Giant, the Sprite Dragon, and we're going to attack. I don't like blocking when we're just going to lose our guy and make them draw cards, so let's just attack with the Gutter Bones. Depending on what they do next turn, we do have a cool turn where we get to take their Lightning Strike with Direfleet Daredevil and kill Agar. I'm not saying that they won't have something else that they can do, but it's a pretty cool play. Our opponent is splashing black for something, though, I'm sure. You don't really put this card in your deck for the scry effect, I don't think, in Q. It's really not worth it, in my opinion. Okay, so our opponent killed our Gutter Bones. So sad, but we can hopefully use our Direfleet Daredevil now to get back the Lightning Strike and kill Agar. Oh yeah, they said it was nice. That's good. That's good for us. See if our opponent might still have a burn spell to try and kill the Direfleet. Okay, they didn't, but I thought that's maybe what they were sitting on. We're definitely not out of this yet, and I do kind of wish in hindsight that I kept the other land so we could get Woe Strider back at some point, but I guess we have a few turns for that still. We also, I didn't realize we don't have very many instants and sorceries that Chandra can actually flash back with her best ability. Well, in my opinion, her best ability. Ooh, a Horn of Bounty. Okay, so they are going to start discarding cards and exiling, drawing 2 cards a turn, essentially. So we are going to try and pressure our opponent so they can't do that. All right, let's attack. Oh, opponent thinking about discarding card? No. And here I'm going to play Annex. I think this is our... Oops, we'll go to a main phase, I guess. We're going to play Annex. I think this is our best play here because it gives us a way. We'll still have creatures left over if our opponent does anything, and we're going to return Gutter Bones to our hand. Our opponent could have something like Sweltering Suns or you know, another red-based sweeper. So I do somewhat want to play around that. Oh, getting rid of a Lorehold command. Oh, interesting. Okay, Kolgan's command and a Leyline Tyrant. So they have to choose one of these to play. It's probably going to be Leyline Tyrant based on what we have in play right now. Kolgan's command would only really kill the Direfleet Daredevil and return maybe Sprite Dragon or Agar to his hand. Maybe that's what he wants to do. I'm not sure. Or she. He or she. You know, they. Okay, so they play the Leyline Tyrant. Oh, I guess they could actually play this with their... They do have a treasure token out, so they could actually play both on this turn, which is pretty cool. The good news is we have a bunch of ways to make Annex into a 4-power creature, and we can attack through that Leyline Tyrant, which is nice. Okay, so they did use the Kolgan's command. We will get a token. Annex won't have an extra power there, but we can give that extra power right back here. So let's think about this. We might be able to... Okay, if we play Chandra and Act of Treason, we have 6 mana now. We'll have 2, 4, 6. We'll have 6 red pips in play. So this guy will be a 6-power creature. That's 6, 7, plus 4 is 11. We deal 11 damage plus 12, 13 with the two 1/1s. Ooh. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do, even though we have no way to... even though we don't kill them straight out, we put them in a really tough spot where any of our... like if Chandra lives or any of our creatures can kill them. So I know 1 is not 0 normally, so maybe this isn't the greatest play, but I still think this is probably worth it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's take it. We're going to take the Leyline Tyrant. We're going to... oh, wait a second. Yeah, we're going to make 2 1/1s. And we're going to attack for 13, putting our opponent to 1. Oh, hey, Travis. Yes, we are red-black sacrifice here. I think we got a pretty good version of it this time. Although this is our first game, so who knows? We got at least 3 ways to drain our opponent out with Bastion of Remembrance, Blood Artist, and Judith. So I feel pretty good about our ability to turn creatures into damage. So our opponent was searching for something there. I'm sure they were not searching for 2 lands, but it's what they got. I think they're in a tough spot here. Like, they have to attack Chandra with the Leyline Tyrant, and then deal with our 2 creatures somehow. Okay, well, they get an extra turn here to deal with her, or to deal with us. That's really good for them, actually. Well, obviously. So our Chandra will bite it, sadly, and they'll take another turn. Oh, yeah, adding the red mana, yeah. I'm very glad they got rid of their Magma Opus now. They could have actually cast that this turn with the mana they have floating from Leyline Tyrants, so pretty powerful stuff. Oh wow, okay, so Ojutai's command is something we're gonna have to play around on our turn a little bit. Oh, what do you mean, Travis? They should have attacked and tried to deal 12 damage. Oh, like in 3 turns. Yeah, I guess that's true. I think they're worried that they won't be able to get out enough blockers in time here. Maybe I see. I see what you mean. Well, here they might still be able to do it. Look at them go. It's getting a little scary. And also, we can't really win on the crackback here unless they choose to attack us. Oh, they are choosing to attack us. Okay, I wonder what they have for 1 mana, because I'm definitely going to attack with my guys. Oh, I guess they're at 5 now. Oh, what did they gain life from? Forgot about this. Oh, Ojutai's command made them gain life. Oh, okay. So they are quite a bit more in command than we thought. We're in a bit of trouble here. I guess this is where 1 is not 0, and we maybe shouldn't have attacked to put them to 1. We maybe should have waited. Okay, so what's our play here? We can get back Woe Strider. We can play Bone Crusher Giant. We can play our Gutter Bones. Either way, I think we're in real danger of this Sprite Dragon becoming a big enough creature to kill us with the Leyline Tyrant. So I think we just play out as much as we can and try to pressure them for next turn. So we are going to play out the Woe Strider and the Gutter Bones. Get rid of everything in our graveyard. All right, and let's hope that they don't have something here. It's too bad we didn't draw a removal spell there. That would have been nice. Oh, I guess yeah. Getting something while the Leyline Tyrant doesn't have when he doesn't have a million mana for that Leyline Tyrant is pretty important. Oh, brutal. Okay, so we're gonna lose here to Shock and some flyers, which is too bad. All right, you got us. It's not a great start for our deck, but that is okay. That was fun. I like playing. I've never seen an Is It deck like that that was splashing white and black. Yeah, very close game. I agree, Travis. I'll show you our deck and what we decided to cut. We have quite a low curve. We have quite a few ways to drain life with Blood Artist. We have Priest of Forgotten Gods. We have Perilous Mirror. We have Bastion of Remembrance. Woe Strider. We got Judith. We have a few mythic rares at the top end here. We were debating playing either taking out Professor Onyx to have something like an Ox as our highest end, or just leave God Eternal Bontu as the high end of our curve, or to play Chandra here. But I think this is pretty good as a setup for this deck. It might be worth it to put in the Grim Initiate because of how many ways we have to drain our opponent, but it feels really bad early in the game. Like the 1/1 just gets outclassed way too fast, whereas all of our other 1/1s at least draw us a card, or they have Death Touch, or whatever, something like that. So I think this is the setup we want. There's even a debate like Chandra versus Professor, but Oh, the 4 mana Liliana. Yeah, she's okay. There's a lot of times where you don't want to make each player discard a card. Like we'll have spells in hand, and we don't want to do this. It's kind of the same as the 3 mana Liliana that's in modern. She's okay as well if you can fill the graveyard and make her -3 work, but we aren't. It's not a guarantee. I feel like she's too niche for this deck. I was gonna say there's a debate for Chandra versus Professor and which one will help close out the game better or stabilize us better. I still think we're gonna keep it like this. Oh yeah, thanks Travis. I agree. I agree. So let's give this another roll here. The other thing I find in best of one, or I said earlier in the stream, Travis, that I like playing best of one with Cube because you get to see so many different decks. You get to play against, way more decks than in best of three. But on the flip side, being on the play versus on the draw is actually a bigger deal, and I don't like that with, I don't like it to be risk or like chance based here. You know, so how did your red white cube draft go earlier? Did you play best of three or best of one? Hmm. Okay, so kind of an awkward hand, but I'm gonna keep this because we have these 2 ways to drain our opponent. Actually, 3 ways if you have Judith out, and then we have God Eternal Bond too. So we might actually have a situation where we can combo out our opponent. I'm gonna keep this. Oh, 3 and 3 and best of one. Yeah, yeah. I don't think it is an archetype, but I mean, what can you do? Oh, I should have played this Hager Mulling. Jeez, I am not paying attention. That is okay. We will find another spot in our curve to play it, because apparently we're just drawing black mana. All right, we are going to play out Bastion of Remembrance. Our opponent might have a removal spell here. Well, all right, so we have to discard a card. I'm tempted to just get rid of Gutter Bones so we can bring it back. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, because we do get a creature off the Bastion. Ooh, Karn. Karn is pretty good as a card advantage engine here. We're going to give them a Dragon Skull Summit and put that into exile. But Karn, we don't have a very good way to deal with Karn because we don't have a red mana, and we can only attack for 1 right now. So we're going to play a Callous Blood Mage and try and draw into something here. Okay, no red mana for us, which is too bad. Okay, we're gonna have to. I think we're just gonna attack our opponent here. This is a situation where Karn is already at 6. I don't think putting it to 5 really helps us. I would almost rather just try and attack and drain our opponent out. Unless we find a good way to deal with Karn here. No, mauling only does creatures, sadly. So we couldn't have mauled Karn. But yeah, otherwise I would have tried to save it. I think here we might be able to drain them out with God Eternal. I kind of doubt it. It looks like they're playing more of a control deck, maybe a mid-range deck, but probably more of a control deck. So let's see how this goes. Oh, hi, Space Boy. It has been going okay. We've only played one game so far and we lost, and we're in game 2 now. But we're playing a cube draft, so we ended up in a black and red sacrifice deck here, and we have lots of ways to drain out our opponent with cards like this, where when our creatures die, our opponents lose life, and so or this where whenever a creature dies, we can deal 1 damage to any target. So we're trying to combo those into damage to our opponent. How are you, Space Boy? So our opponent, they passed the turn. They used up their timeout. I don't know if that's because they don't have anything or because they lagged out, but we're going to play as if they don't have anything. And I think here it's still, instead of attacking Karn, it's still best to attack our opponent. This kind of a deck where you have these extra ways to deal damage to your opponent. Karn already being at 6 loyalty, I don't think it's worth it to get rid of Karn here. But yeah, it looks like our opponent has timed out. They have disconnected or something, which is too bad. Oh, here we go. Okay, maybe they have not yet. They're still in this. So we're going to attack just straight to the face. Sharon, you're so friendly. Okay, so this is cool. We got two pings here for every creature that we have. And now we're faced with, do we put out Demon Bolt into Foretell, or do we get back Gutter Bones? And I think I'm going to get back Gutter Bones here. The reason being is we have God Eternal Bantu in this. Yeah, Rakdos shenanigans here, Space Boy. We're looking for next turn. If we get a land, we can play Gutter Bones and then sacrifice our whole team, deal 2 damage per creature. Oh, but it looks like we're not going to get to do that, sadly. So we did draw a land. We can still play God Eternal and after a Gutter Bones to draw some cards and deal some damage. I'm not sure that's the best play. We will play the God Eternal because it's just a solid creature with menace anyways. I think we're just going to end up sacrificing lands with the God Eternal, not our creatures, since they only drain for 1 anyway. So let's play out Gutter Bones. I want to see what they do, if they have any effects here. And I think I'm even just gonna attack first. Jeez, our opponent playing very slow. We're not going to play our Rimrock Knight here. Okay, so we are kind of worried about a counterspell right now, but I still think we're going to play out the God Eternal. Yeah, we're going to see if they have it. Okay, so they don't have a counterspell. We're going to sacrifice a couple permanents. We're going to get rid of at least 1 land, probably 2 lands. I don't think we get rid of any creatures here. Maybe we get rid of a 3rd land even. Our curve in this deck is very low, and this is where... And we also will probably draw lands off of God Eternal, so I think we're going to sacrifice 3... No, just 2 lands here. Just 2 lands. Ooh, okay, so there's where you get punished. We sacrifice 2 lands, and now we have Professor Onyx that's going to sit and rot in our hand, sadly. But we have a very difficult to deal with 5/6 Menace. Okay, so let's just look here. What do they have? So our opponent could flashback Kolgan's Command, Lightning Bolt, or Lightning Helix with the Mizzix Mastery. Or we could give them the Thrix, the Sudden Storm, the 4/5. I think we'd be happier. I think we'd actually be happier if our opponent played Thrix. No, probably the Mizzix Mastery. We'll give them the Mizzix Mastery and get rid of Thrix. They don't have nearly enough red or mana to overload this this card, which is when it's very scary. I mean, it could bite us later, but it's not like Karn couldn't have grabbed that for them later. Okay, got a land. Our opponent didn't play anything, which means they probably have an instant speed effect here. We're still going to keep attacking our opponent directly. I think Karn, he's not going to minus Karn too often to make the tokens, so it's just too much damage that Karn would soak up trying to attack Karn. Okay, so Lorehold command here, trying to gain some life, kill our Gutter Bones, and make a 3/2, probably to block our human soldier. So we're fine with this. The life gain I'm not so fine with, but what can you do? And we're going to let our opponent block and use the Rimrock Knight, I think, to trade here. I think that's better than using the Bone Crusher Giant at this point. Because really, we just care about getting that off the board at this moment. And now we can either foretell the Demon Bolt or just return Gutter Bones and play the Knight, which I think is what we're going to do. So let's play the Rimrock Knight, return Gutter Bones. Space Boy, have you played Arena Cube Draft before? Ooh, okay, we'll give them this. I think Arena Cube's been out a couple times in the past as well, but I look forward to it when it comes out a lot. So our opponent with some very solid spells now that he could flash back with Mizzix Mastery, like the Lorehold command. I mean, still nothing that can deal with our God Eternal, thankfully, but... Travis, I do think they update the cube a little bit every time, but they keep it mostly the same. And they have a second cube that they use, the Tinkerer's cube, that they bring out every once in a while that uses more commons and uncommons, and it has more synergies, Okay, so our opponent going to, once again, kill our creature, make a token, gain some life, which is too bad. Yeah, Travis, I think this time there's actually more cards added to this cube than any other time that I've seen because of the Mystical Archives cards. A lot of those cards have been in the Magic Online cube for quite a while. And so I think they know how it plays. They know players like to play them, and it's worth it for them to put it in the queue. Oh man, Rampaging Ferocodon, I wish we had you a turn ago. I guess you would have died, but you at least would have prevented one life gain. But okay, so our opponent is at 10. We can't burn them out right away. We're still going to attack them and not Karn. I don't think it's worth it to kill Karn here. I guess they could get back... what has a silver counter here? Thrix or Scorching Dragonfire? Yeah, no, we're okay with that. We're going to keep going to the face here. Yeah, I guess sometimes, yeah, you have to choose whether you're going to save up and play regular drafts to complete your sets, or if you're going to play cube draft, which doesn't help you complete any of your main decks that you want. So there is that trade-off for sure. Yeah, cube is really fun. Playing with these cards in draft is much different than playing in constructed. It's like you're playing 40 card singleton constructed kind of, but you get to build it as you go. There's a lot of good stuff that comes out of it. Yeah, the Demon Bolt doesn't hit our opponent to the face. It just targets creatures and planeswalkers. But I agree, the Bone Crusher Giant we are keeping to try and burn our opponent out. So our opponent's at 5. I don't think we use the Bone Crusher Giant to kill the Spirit, but we do play our Demon Bolt to clear the way. Then we'll still have enough mana to use the Stomp side of Bone Crusher Giant and potentially win the game. So, and any creature our opponent kills right now does drain them for 1 as well. Yeah, it's tough to remember sometimes which of these spells hit planeswalkers and which hit players. Like Travis was talking about this Hagra Mauling and whether it kills planeswalkers or not. And normally these kind of spells, they do look like they kill planeswalkers, but this one for whatever reason doesn't. So our opponent killing the God Eternal, which will put into our library, which is nice. This is powerful enough that we do want to take this and put it into our library to draw again. So let's deal them 2 damage here. Okay, and we're going to try and burn them out. I mean, they might have a counter spell, but let's make sure that they have it. All right, nice. They didn't have it. So we got there against the weird 4-color control deck that our opponent was playing. Yeah, thanks, Travis. It was a pretty good game. Just look at the deck list one more time, just to show what we're playing with. We kept our curve very low with lots of 2-drops. We have lots of ways to make tokens like Anax and the Bastion of Remembrance makes a token. I guess that's not much, but the Callous Blood Mage makes another token. Woe Strider makes a token, and it gives us lots of bodies to deal damage with. Judith, the Blood Artist, and Bastion of Remembrance. And then we're hoping we can close out the game with cards like Bone Crusher Giant did there, or Act of Treason, or our Captivating Crew, which we can also steal their creatures and sacrifice them with. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this deck, and let's hope we do a little better than that first game. I think Rakdos is one of my more favorite draft colors. Just the black and red having access to all the removal, it makes it really easy to draft. Sometimes you just play a couple creatures and then remove your opponent's creatures and win the game. It's nice to have those easy wins sometimes. Oh, too bad. This hand, if we had 1 swamp, would be a really good hand to keep, but since we can't play anything, we're gonna mulligan. Yeah, Sharon. Yes. Okay, so we'll keep this 6. I'm gonna put the swamp on the bottom so we can cast everything in our hand, and we're gonna start it off. I think with the. I don't know if I want to put this in a play tapped. Yeah, we're going to do this in a play tapped here to avoid paying the 3 life. And because we don't know if we're going to get another red source at this point, and I want to play our 3 drops on curve, so. Perilous Myr is an interesting card. I like it a lot in the sacrifice deck where you have more use for the 1/1 body, but it also puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. Like, blocking this Rimrock Knight and killing another one of their creatures is pretty cool. Our opponent is red and white. I'm tempted to play the Ferocidon so they start taking damage, but I also want to kind of block here, so maybe Annex is the play. No, let's play the Ferocidon first. I think that our opponent will want to want to deal with it. So yeah, the Rampaging Ferocidon is another way for us to ping our opponents, albeit a little slowly. Ooh, okay, so Maul of the Skyclaves. Now we are dealing with a huge creature that's going to try and race us, which is not great for us right now. Because to play any more creatures, we have to ping ourselves. But we're going to attack here and play our Captivating Crew, and maybe we can target the Rimrock Knight with the Captivating Crew to take it and smash them back with the Flyer. We're really looking for a removal spell here to, preferably at instant speed, to get rid of whatever this Maul is equipped to. This is where it kind of Captivating Crew does put some pressure on our opponent. They won't be able to have good blocks unless they deal with the Captivating Crew. So, yes, Travis, you're right. I feel like I'm always the person who needs removal. That's why I said I like the black-red decks. You're not in that spot as much as others. So. Okay, yeah, so our opponent saw the value of our Captivating Crew and went for it here. We're actually in a bit of trouble, honestly. We can't kill them in another single turn. What is our out here? I guess we could have Active Treason. We could still have removal. Yeah, we're still going to play out Annex, I think, here. I only passed a few removals, Sharon. Come on. And I think our deck has a decent amount of removal. Yeah, Travis, you're right. And I think also there's a lot of times you run into people who don't have creatures. Yeah, you want good removal spells, but people sometimes don't have creatures, or you wanted something else, or whatever. Oh my god, another equipment. So our opponent putting us to 1, and they're going to mill us for 10 and make a blocker. Ugh. Okay, well, I don't think we can win now, so we're just going to attack. Well, maybe we'll play out the Bastion. No, it doesn't matter. 3, 6, 7, 7 damage. You know, that's not very good. Blood Artist gives us an extra 1 when their creature dies. But yeah, it looks like we're dead to that Flyer. That's too bad. I thought we were in pretty good shape there with that hand, but a single Flyer with equipment somehow got us. I don't think we're going to change anything about our deck, though. We don't have a ton of options in the sideboard. And really, I don't think we've had a chance to play it to its full potential yet. So let's keep it going and hope we draw removal when we need it, I guess. Is that who do I pray to get that? Okay, we'll keep this. We don't have a black mana, but we do have a Perilous Mirror and a Chandra, so we can get some 1/1s going here. Ah, yes, the travesty law of removal. I think we're actually going to play out our 2/1 first strike here. This attacks a little better into the Sentinel. I don't think we want to just run our Perilous Mirror into it and kill it with the effect. We will play out Chandra though and start making little 1/1s to attack with. I don't think our opponent is going to attack us very quickly here. And if they do ping our Chandra for one, I'm not too concerned. So we'll just get out our token creators and hopefully we draw black mana sometime. I find it really odd that in both the last 2 games, we've kept hands that are we've had to keep hands that are all of 1 mana or mulligan them. It's not the way you want to play games. So our opponent playing a pretty good blocker here actually with Haka, Whispering Raven. We don't have a good way to deal with it, so. All right, we're gonna play out a swamp, and I think. Let's see here. Do we want to look at their hand and play a Perilous Mirror, or do we want to Woe Strider? I think we probably want to play Woe Strider here. We only get to look at 1 card of their hand, I guess, with Acquisition Expert. So yeah, let's play Woe Strider. We're gonna play that before we make these tokens and attack, so that we can sacrifice the tokens, whichever one they block for a scry here. And then we'll sacrifice the other one after combat. We are letting Chandra get pretty close to dead with the Haka attacking her, but I don't think they'll do that. The real value for Haka is to attack a player and have it come back to scry and become the backside Allrund on the second pass. Also, I didn't sacrifice the second token there because I do like our swamp for God Eternal. The God Eternal is really good with the tokens from Chandra. It's like 2 extra cards you just get to draw out of nowhere. And it's actually what we'll do probably with this goat token as well. Hopefully we'll get to draw 4 cards off of God Eternal next turn and set ourselves up for outvaluing our opponent. Okay, so our opponent is playing a ramped deck. I don't know what they like. It seems like they've kept kind of a slow hand here. Lots of tapped lands, but we have to be worried about next turn when they have 7 mana to play. It's quite a lot of mana and could be just backbreaking for us. But we don't have a really good way to look at their hand. This only looks at 1 card, so I think we're just going to play out those and play out the God Eternal right away here. We're going to sacrifice all 3 of these tokens and a mountain and draw 4 cards. So that feels pretty good. Or at least I think that feels pretty good, even if 2 of them are lands. And we're not going to attack. Woe Strider's just too good, I think, on his own, and we're just going to pass the turn and see what our opponent has ramped into here. So they could have 8 mana with the Sentinel tapping the Raven, the Mirror, and then all of their lands. I guess this is another situation where the Rampaging Frostodon is actually not that good for us. It doesn't really work very well with Chandra, that's for sure. Pinging us for 2 damage every time we make those 1/1s is not great. But Blood Artist is really good with Chandra. Whenever those tokens die, we get to drain them for 1, so hopefully that's a few damage every time. But ooh, okay, so our opponent taking an extra turn, which is really solid. They're going to get to kill our Chandra with the Obstructionist, which is kind of sad. I'm surprised actually that they didn't attack with the Raven though. I thought that was a good time to scry 2 and get this guy back as because they're going to have all of their mana open this turn. I really hope they're not going to play some bonkers 9 mana card and we're just going to groan and lose, which is definitely a potential in queue. The fact that they took another turn makes me think that they don't have that yet. They could have drawn it off their one draw, but they're sure looking at our creatures, though. All right. You get some action here. Here goes Chandra.
Just walk it off, Chandra.
Ooh. Nice. So this is a I really like this card. It's really neat in that it only it requires crew 3, and then you get to attack for 6 flying damage and deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. That's a pretty good trade-off. And right now it's a really good blocker against us too. So we're gonna have to find a way to limit the impact this can have on us here. Our God Eternal is still a good attack this turn. Our Direfleet Daredevil is not anymore. And Shatter Skull Smashing only deals 3 damage. I think if we use this on Haka or any of his creatures, he's just going to accrue in response. Maybe that's a good thing for us. Maybe not. I think I'm just going to try and play out some more creatures here after this. So let's attack with God Eternal and see what the opponent does. We could have played Blood Artist before combat, but I'm still not sure what I want to play here. And I'm happy if they block the Sky Sovereign, so I don't think it's necessary to play this out. Okay, so they didn't block. They're going to use the Sky Sovereign to attack us. I think this turn we're going to play out. We're gonna try and use our mana, and I'm going to get rid of the last card in their hand and play out the Rampaging Ferocidon. So our opponent can still do some pretty crazy stuff here. Like they can attack us for 5 plus 6 is 11 in the air, plus 3 damage to a creature we control. It's pretty crazy. Oh, so our opponent did have something. They're going to fight one of our creatures. They were going to do that anyway, which is too bad. But now I'm not sure if I want to play this Ferocidon anymore. Ferocidon's just going to get hit with the 3 damage from this the Sky Sovereign. Let's see here. I think I'm going to play out the Perilous Myr instead. We're really looking for a way to get through these last couple points of damage. I think our opponent is incentivized to be aggressive with this Sky Sovereign, not to leave it back to block. Isn't this Myr? 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 How do you say this? Perilous Myr. M-Y-R. I don't know what that is. So our opponent going for the flying attack here, killing our creature. Myr. Oh, it's a Myr. Okay, I kind of get that. Oh, and an Icy Manipulator to lock down our big Big guy. Well, that's quite good. Okay. So here we do have a pretty good chance to, well, maybe not a really good chance, but a pretty good chance to kill some creatures. I'm going to go to combat with both. No, I don't think Icy Manipulator is a first pick in this. I think it's probably not worth it. I think a lot of decks don't even want to play it, honestly. Okay, and we probably have to play Shatter Skull Smashing here in order to kill the 2 flying creatures. So we can do this divided as you choose, and we can deal 4 damage. Yeah, so we're going to have to play Shatter Skull Smashing here for 4 and kill these 2 guys. And that way, if they want to attack with the Sky Sovereign, they have to tap both of their creatures, and then hopefully we can keep them off of crewing this in the next turn or 2 until we find a way to stabilize. But I mean, this is cube. They could just draw a bonkers card, and we'll be back in the same shitty situation we were in. Why is I? I still don't know what that. Why is I? So Meyer, like Meyer, is that? Do you say Myrtle? I thought it was Myrtle. Was that name, Sharon? Isn't it? You guys have got me all confused. Ooh, okay, so we do also have a Hagra Mauling to kill the Sky Sovereign if we need to. But let's go to combat and attack here first. Okay, send in the Perilous Myr. And we're gonna try first to Bone Crusher Giant the Palladium Myr. Okay, so they don't have an effect. And then we just die if they have something to crew this, so we're gonna pass the turn. Okay, here's something to crew it. So I'm glad we kept this up. So wait for that to become a creature, and then we're going to kill it. And really hope that this Crystalline Giant doesn't go crazy before we can play out some creatures here. Okay, so right off the bat they get Hexproof, which I think is the best version of that, but crazy. All right. We have 6 mana, which is 1 too few for what I want to do, which is play Woe Strider and a Blood Artist. I really want to play... Well, yeah. I want to get... Yeah, I agree, Travis. We do need creatures. I still want to play out Blood Artist probably too. I really want to get a sacrifice effect going here though. So, okay, I'm going to play out Annex, and no, Annex doesn't block very well. I'm going to play out Bone Crusher Giant and Blood Artist. Well, hang on. Annex also gives us more creatures next turn, so it's possible for us to combo them out if we have Annex, Woe Strider, and Blood Artist. So let's try for that. We're gonna play Annex. I guess I should go to combat and make them tap something. So we'll do that. We'll go to combat. We are not gonna attack, I don't think. And we're gonna play the Blood Artist. Okay. So let's see what our opponent draws here, but I think we can maybe combo them out on our turn. Well, maybe not. We don't quite have enough. It'd be 2, 4, 6, or 7, 8. Oh yeah, we're very close. Ooh, so our opponent gets lifelink on their giant, which is good for them. But I still don't think they want to attack and lose it right away. It just makes our attacks pretty bad. I guess they could tap our annex and attack, and then we're forced to block with the Perilous Mirror. No, they didn't attack. Okay. Okay, so we drew our 7th mana. I think we just play out Woe Strider. Still our best play. We'll get rid of stuff that I don't think we have anything that returns creatures, but we'll get rid of everything else just in case. Okay, and we can attack. It's not very good to attack, actually, no. So we're just going to pass here. No attacks. We're going to end the turn. I don't think it's quite game. Is it, Travis? Like, this is 2, this is 4, this is 6, this is 7, and then we're stuck with these 2 in play. We can do this for 8, but I don't think we can quite get to 9. Oh, but the Murat deals 2. Okay, I think we're good. You're right. You're right. So we'll see what our opponent does here. Okay, and we're going to sacrifice at the end of their turn to scry. Don't need that. I think we're going to take a draw here. We might as well take a draw and then do this with more creatures and more information. So yeah, let's play out this Callous Blood Mage, and we'll just sacrifice a bunch of stuff to kill them. Oh, cool. Well, this was a very tight game. I'm very glad our opponent drew a few more lands than they needed. I guess I shouldn't say this yet. We haven't won this yet. So let's start this again. And we'll gain some life, which is nice. We'll scry, and it doesn't really matter. We're going to ship that away, though, I think. Sacrifice the Blood Mage. Get a token. Oh, look at us go. Now we can really kill them. Maybe our opponent will save us the struggle. Okay, there we go. Nice. All right, moving up to 2 and 2. That's where these decks are pretty fun. Oh yeah, that's true. I wasn't playing the clicking the quickest there, Travis. You're right. I like it when. Yes, I was slow as fuck. That's right. I like it when a deck that has synergy beats a deck that is a little more power hungry, call it. It feels better. Okay, we're gonna keep this hand. It's not an amazing hand, but we just need 1 land for it to be very good, so. Yeah, I agree, Travis. I don't remember the wording on it, but we should look that up. I'm actually going to play the Gutter Bones instead of the Expert here. The Expert will hit another card if we go to have a Gutter Bones in play, which is interesting. Yeah, Travis, I don't know. Like, what are you going to do? Pick the multiplayer opponent that you don't have? Maybe I could kill their pet if Blood Artist would let me target it. That'd be neat. Okay, let's attack. Yeah, I don't. Why would you want to target yourself though? It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So our deck did not draw a third land. It's kind of disappointing. But we still have lots to play because our curve is so low. Except for this professor, obviously. Okay, so our opponent with a swords or a banishing light. I think we're going to get rid of the swords plowshares. It's pretty easy pick there. Banishing light hits more things, but it also costs more mana, so I'm fine with that that trade. All right, there's a third land. That's nice. Let's. Yeah, I don't know, Travis. That's true. They obviously, well, maybe they. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe they don't have lands. Maybe they have a bunch of bonkers creatures or something. So here, I'm going to play out Annex and attack with our 2 creatures, since they'll give us a token when they die, or if they die. Her hair is kind of like Clark Kent's glasses, you're saying? Wow, so our opponent with a crazy turn here. Wow, look at that. That is a lot of power they just put on the board. That's crazy. So they just played 3 spells in a row. That's why they didn't let us see their hand. They played SRAM's Expertise into a free God of the Worthy into a Venerated Loxodon. That's crazy. So they have 9, 10, 11, 12 power plus the Loxodon here. That's quite something. I think here, though, we're just going to Demon Bolt the Loxodon and attack, and then hope that we can play our Blood Artist and, like, block and trade them out, I think. Maybe we keep the Gutter Bones back to block and trade. Yeah, we got to do this, I think. We're going to attack. I think just with both of these. And let's hope that our opponent doesn't have some mass pump spell that just kills us here. Okay, so Banishing Light, getting rid of Annex, that's a pretty good play. Okay, so our opponent attacking with half the stuff. We're not going to block here to try and get another drain effect from the Blood Artist if we do end up getting rid of our creatures. Alright, so we're going to play out Blood Artist and we're going to hold up Bone Crusher Giant here. Not feeling terribly confident right now about this situation. Especially because the Professor costs 8 mana with the Raidane out. Ooh, wow. Okay, so probably going to put +1/+1 counter on every creature they control. So we're going to kill something in response. We're going to kill a Pilgrim. Can I target? I can't target myself with that. That's weird.
If I have to light the way, I will.
Okay, well, we're going to have to start blocking some stuff here. I think we block to trade. Wow, yeah, we are in big trouble. What is our way out? I guess if we block enough and make enough creatures die, we can win. Oh, but no, Johnny's just going to gain life every turn. Oh, man. That's crazy. So tough here. What are we going to do? Yeah, with the Johnny gaining them life every turn, I don't know that we have really a way out of this, especially with the Vigilance, too. Okay, well, we gotta play to our outs, which is, in this case, probably getting them low enough that we... getting them low enough that we can maybe get a Act of Treason or something to kill them, so... The Sexy Librarian. I think there were a lot of players that were already thinking Liliana was too sexy, so...
Shall always conquer darkness.
Ooh, okay. So we're just gonna get attacked for 9 without being able to block. That's too bad. Brutal. Wow. Okay, so that was not a great ending to our draft. We only went where do we go? 2 and 3, 3 and 3, 2 and 3. Yeah, they were good games. That was a lot of fun. That was some good games, and I think we drafted fairly well. I think this is a pretty good deck. I'm very surprised in that last match that our opponent had that exact hand that they could play out the SRAM's expertise into the Loxodon, and then to have a Johnny to back it up was really good. So, yeah, I thank you guys for watching. Did you say I have stressed hair? No, I don't. I have a Hagra Mauling and the Shatter Skull smashing, Travis. So I think that was okay as a 17 land situation. I think. Especially because Shatter Skull smashing is legitimately a 50-50 land. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we could have done a little differently, but I'm very happy to play that. Thank you guys all for watching. That'll be it for me for tonight. If you notice the background, I'm away from home, so I'm gonna take some time to rest. I'm out for work, so thank you guys for watching, and Travis, Sharon, Spaceboy, we appreciate the support, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Yeah, connection was great. I heard that yesterday when I was testing it out too. Grego said it was amazing. So we'll collect our prize here. Let's see what our cards are first, and then we'll move on. Ooh, cards that I already have, I think, except for this one, maybe. Exciting stuff. All right, well, good night, you guys. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you. We'll see you next week on Tuesday.